Tane and Taz were also playing with Notorious Legion. Having Cash on their side was a big benefit, but now they've got the Englishman and Ixo. And off we go with this one. Endpoint CEX versus Monkeys. Winner will go on to face Team Singularity a little bit later on. We'll start things off as Endpoint just holding fort in their own half of the field for the moment. Nothing too spectacular starting this best of 5 off, but there's the passes, and we know when these guys were playing as Notorious Legion, the Monkeys, Metane and Taz, they are so deadly when it comes to accurate passing.
Yeah, people usually refer to him as sort of the masters of the defensive type game. Taz slightly got annoyed with that reputation. He wanted to show another side to him, and we did for a part of the rival series. Metane there, one shots, Taz has one. There was a stack to the backboard. But right now, Cisco dropping all the way back, working his way up to the middle of the field. But Endpoint, we further got the midline locked decently well there.
And this is good pressure from the Monkeys, and Taz might have one on target. He does, but squeezed away by Relating Wave. And that's a man you need to look out for on this field. Relating Wave is going to be all over any passes that you guys are trying to pull out. And here he goes to the backboard, can't follow up. Yes, he can, in fact. It'll be Ixo getting the clutch save, and shot for each team, or a couple of good chances for each team here in the early stages of this one. Danny, who do you think's looking the more stronger offense so far?
So far, I would have to say the Monkeys have had opportunities, they've tested around here. We can see by the, again, this fabulous overlay, the boost, the touches, everything on display in Virtuoso. You can just set a bit of drip dropping down from the foreheads of Monkeys defense there, but they hold on with 2 minutes gone, goalless so far.
Relating Wave not able to find any boost in the corner, so he'll leave that one, and Metane will just jump on this one. Here come the Monkeys though, try to move everything downfield. Ixo try to find somebody in the middle. He'll actually demo Metsonoris, in fact, but Virtuoso straight onto net, looking for those backboard plays, and it seems like that's the story of this one so far. Everyone just try to pepper that backboard, try to get that drop down, and then call in their teammate for the follow-up, but the defenses are getting very wise to this and shutting these down before they can even develop here, Danny.
Yeah, it's the experience we see as well too. We see effectively Mets holding that sort of back line, allowing the two, the pivot in and out, free flowing attacking. But it's the opposition counterpart, Isco, that sort of volatile players who are trying to disrupt the two. And sort of evenly matched out with that half the game gone here. And Metane, it's a little weak possession there. Hurt having a couple of plays. Bang as our favourite stacks would say, 1-0.
And Virtuoso just going straight onto net. Who was this getting the demo onto Ixo? Actually, no, not Ixo. I couldn't remember who got the demo there, but brilliantly played by the offense of Endpoint CEX here. And they take the opener here in game number 1. And then Monkeys probably looking to fire back very early, very aggressive right off the kickoff. Ixo taking it straight to the backboard off the crossbar. It'll go, and Metane finds it. An early equaliser and a quick one at that.
Oh, this is beautiful. Iso just moving around. Williams thought, I'll just sneakily take this away. And Metane just went, thank you very much, and just slip it in from the near post to defense. Helpless, and so far Crafters both are playing free flow. They're attacking well. Don't get me wrong, defense can still improve, needs to improve here, and Wave just moving it down to his teammate and transferring decently well too.
Now Monkeys, knowing that all-out aggression has been working well for them right off the kickoff, in fact, got them that equalising goal. Here comes Ixo, gets squeezed away by Metsonoris though. Now Taz will try his luck, 23 boost to his name, but can't get anything through. Relating Wave might be here though. Metsonoris in pursuit of this one in the corner. Ixo will just gladly take it away and slow everything down. Now that Monkeys can rotate back, and Endpoint CEX, they don't really have the speed in comparison to the Monkeys. The Monkeys just seem all over this one. Relating Wave, awkward position, just dives out the way, gets the save in and out of the goal, and now that moves everything back upfield. CEX well defended.
But for how much longer can the Monkeys reciprocate backwards? They are now in defense here, and the man in question is moving down. Second touch was by Metane, and they left themselves vulnerable from the counter-attacking Endpoint, breathing down the necks here. Monkeys, they once again past the halfway line, attacking to the backboard, and Virgil sweeps around here. The emerald green man from Ireland doing well there.
Relating Wave looking to get the pass into Metsonoris, and he does. No touch followed up though. by the veteran Finn. Still fairly even game here. It does seem like Endpoint are on the up and up, but Monkey's starting to make progress downfield yet again. All the boost on their side. Relating Wave really the only person on Endpoint who has any boost in the tank, so it's going to allow Monkeys to come down. Maybe gets this one in front of net. 27 seconds remaining, and Monkeys are pushing hard. They want to get the lead here. Do not want to push this one into overtime. Virtuoso has other ideas as he dribbles this one up the right-hand side.
That idea, ruptured, Vert dropping back, so it's Relating Wave. One chance here, does he still have it? No! And Relating Wave dealt, turn, moves around, and Taz has a chance, wide off the post, straight off the crossbar! Oh, it's not! We've just been robbed! Monkeys are swinging off the branches, but still can't score.
That was on the line. My, oh my. Monkeys were that close to taking the first game, and they might pay for it. Endpoint straight on their net. 15 seconds into overtime, but Taz here coming in for a shot of his own. So back and forth here, and such aggressiveness from both teams. The Monkeys looking to make it work out themselves in overtime. Here comes Meten to the backboard. This is one bouncing down. It is, but Relating Wave steps, Metsonoras in fact steps in front of it. Meten will keep this one dangerous in the blue half of the field. Now Taz finds Ixo in the middle, but he cannot make contact. An aggressive start for the Monkeys, but Endpoint hold their own. And here comes Relating Wave to the corner of the goalpost. Taz gets the save, and we continue in OT.
Players both sides are trying to find a way. Do it in 5 minutes to break the deadlock. Yet, Monkeys had one chance. Point 2 and back again. He's going trying to pass into the middle. Meten up and around. Should be Metsonoras downfield. And so far, Crafters are just struggling for possession. Boost has seemed to be an apparent issue too. Oh, the pressure already on game 1.
Yeah, most of regulation, it was Endpoint on the back foot of boost. You could see on the player boost meters on the left-hand side that a lot of them were empty, but they're full here in overtime, and Virtuoso bangs one in from close range, and Endpoint hold on to take this first game.
Oh, just the accuracy there. That was just delicate by Virtuoso, but oh, you've got to feel for the Monkeys. They've had a sizzler of a chance at Crafters. It didn't go in, and yet we just see by the breakdown alone there, Monkeys were dominating, but according to the stats, suggests otherwise in some cases for Endpoint.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I'm looking at that field domination stat, and 56% possession in favor of Endpoint upfield in the orange half. For most of that, I thought Monkeys had the advantage in that stat. I thought they were right on the attacking play most of the time, if not all of the time, and Endpoint only had a couple of breakaways every now and again. But it's interesting watching these guys too. Really attacking teams really want to set the pace early on and just go bang, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. So it's interesting to see how Monkeys were on the back foot of that, at least in stats, even though they were fairly even, 56% to 44% in that.
Yeah, the issue as well with we can't really measure on terms of at least a quantity is for the mental side of it as well. Monkeys lost that chance as well, and now they've just lost the game in OT. That's going to be devastating for them going into game 2. How they respond to it is going to be a huge factor as well, Crafters.
I think they are going to go at it all full beans, as we saw in game number 1, as we approach game number 2. Taz wanting to take that slowly though. Allow Ixo to come up to the backboard, and Monkey straight on the attack here at game number 2. Endpoint though on the counter, Relating Wave looking to bump Meten away. Not able to clear a path for his teammate to make the shot, and we'll stay even as we tick past the first 20 seconds and right back into this midfield game, kind of what we saw at the start of the first game, Danny. It was Endpoint who came away with the first goal back in game number 1. Can they do it again here?
We're going to see elements of it. What a goal line save. Oh, the Monkeys, they're making every one of their fans sweat in that shot. Slightly above the crossbar and Relating Wave back around here. It seems to be a game of aerial battle, and the Monkeys are losing it. They have to find a way of climbing up and able to take a few of these away from them. If not, Endpoint is just going to have a free range of their backboards.
Wave looking to get that double touch of his own off the sidewall, but able to make contact. And again, there's a lot of missed chances for both teams. But here comes Ixo, trying to create a chance for himself. Gets that double touch, but bangs it off the crossbar, but puts Monkeys in good position here, floating across the face of the net. Ixo will get that shot as Relating Wave couldn't get it away. Virtuoso does make the save. Can Metain slow things down? He can't just enough. And this one will be set clear from the Endpoint half. And this is kind of what we saw from Endpoint last game as well, Danny. They seem to get pressured quite a lot by Monkeys, but their defensive rotations are on point most of it.
Oh, I have to fully agree with there, and it's relaxing to see when it was not just how it was on this Endpoint roster. It was a one-side pivot here. With Mets, Brilliant Wave, they're able to move in and out. Virtuoso can just hunt for those demos, move around. You can see the way that Virtuoso is lurking around, trying to attack, and Taz just moves that one to the side. 2 out of net, 1 more, surely not! Relating Wave, that one goes in with an defense sent packing.
And the cheeky bump in net there from Virtuoso onto Metain, just clearing the way for Relating Wave. Absolute boomer of a shot to that bottom, top left corner, excuse me. But it was all up to the Irishman. And Virtuoso clearing the path here, but here he comes again, looking for the double touch off the backboard, sets the table for Wave. Where's Metsenoris for the follow-up? He's there, but straight onto the crossbar. Still a 1-0 lead for Endpoint, but they're right on this aggressive attack. Could be 2-0, and it will be. Virtuoso pushes the goal, leads to 2.
It's amazing how quickly double up Virtus moves that up, and Taz is just sitting there going, help me! And Metain decides to demo him a sympathetic sort of response there. Can't get the ball, so get the next big thing, and that's Vert. Other than that, 2-0, simple as it gets for them.
The Monkeys really licking their wounds at this point, trying to figure out what the hell happened. As Endpoint have been going very, very quickly, very aggressive, and obviously looking for those bumps and demos. That's been their bread and butter throughout the course of this series so far in its early stages. Monkeys, especially in this game too, just can't seem to find the right answers for it. And Endpoint have most of the possession, and they're keeping a lot of the touches to themselves. Sometimes in their own half, and mainly in midfield, that's where they're holding on to. But Ixo able to find a break in that one. Taz over the top, double commit though by Metain as well. And Ixo's just going to have to play spoiler here for Metsenoris as he was taking that one through to Relating Wave. And that's the kind of double commit and the mistakes that Monkeys cannot afford to make, especially when they're 2 goals down with the series on the line as well.
The third one goes in here, you might as well say 2-0 series. I'm comfortable in saying that. There was one chance for a goal, the retained back by the Monkeys. Is that one straight in? Apparently Crafters Endpoint has got a new strategy. Go for boost.
Yeah, just go for boost. The Monkeys are just going for goals. Nice little challenge there by Taz to send that one in, and no one home for Endpoint. We were praising earlier, Danny, their defensive rotations, but they just dropped the ball on that one. Like you said, just going for boost, not really giving a damn about leaving the net. And Taz, maybe he's counting his lucky stars on that one, getting the lucky, some might say, challenge onto the defender, and that one sliding in. But it does at least push it back to a 1-goal deficit in Endpoint. Need to start playing a little bit more defense now as Metain looking to become aggressive again. He's got Ixo and Taz there, in fact, double commit, both out of position. That'll allow Endpoint to come up for yet another attempt on net. Virtuoso. Again, Monkeys there, right on this ball. Looking to transition downfield, and they do. Brilliantly played by Metain and Ixo, and they tie things up.
This was just simple by Metain, just beat Brilliant Wave, just tucks in. This point here, the game really relies on just a moment of calms, because right now Endpoint has just spread themselves too thin here. They've been taken out twice in similar fashion, and there we are. Metsenoris has enough, trying to take the lead, gains it just off the kickoff. Monkeys, oh come on.
And that's the veteran for you. Brilliant pass though from Relating Wave to set that one up. Monkeys defense had no chance of getting to that one in time. Well played by Metsenoris, just holding down the fort. The Monkeys right back on the back foot, but Endpoint want more. Here comes Metsenoris around the right-hand side. Virtuoso's there, can't make contact. Leaves it for Ixo, looking to transition back upfield. But Relating Wave slowing things down in that middle of the field, just not allowing Monkeys to move out of their own half too many times. Now might be a transition that Monkeys were going to be able to make, but straight into the hands of Virtuoso. And that's where Monkeys can't afford to fall apart. If they want to transition downfield, they need to hold on to possession. They can't afford to rely on Endpoint making mistakes and getting the ball back.
Basically the perfect game with under 30 seconds, and 10 of it was already wasted in defense. They're already just waiting for Endpoint to stop hassling and hounding the ball. Other than that, right now, Virtuoso is just sitting there blocking and just saying to the Monkeys, none shall pass further than me. I think we can just comfortably say 2-0 series 4-2. Virtuoso just securing this one now.
Yeah, just padding the stats for Virtuoso and Relating Wave, of course. And it just shows you the Monkeys' defense, if they get pressured more consistently, which is what Endpoint are tending to do here, just consistent pressure, shot after shot after shot. The rotations do eventually break down, and Monkeys have no chance of pulling back here in game number 2, so they're going to have to rely on game number 3 now as Endpoint move within series point.
Endpoint has played probably, I wouldn't say the perfect sort of start for your opening game, but it's pretty much close to a Crafters. Come out, first game, test your opposition, see what they're capable of doing, and move into complete another domination. This game, not by the field, ball yes into theirs, boosted about even, and they just are able to take the opportunities. And Meteors, we talked about that experience before the match even started. It's paid dividends here.
It really has, and you can see in the stats there, just possession 53%. Endpoint had the majority of touches in that one. Although you would say it's fairly even, yes, there, but again, just the amount of saves that Monkeys had to make. 4-3. I know it's only 4-3, but even then, you could feel that Endpoint were making more of the shots, more of the ample opportunities that they got. They had the more clear-cut chances on net, and Monkeys just allowed the doors to open everywhere in the field, whether it's in midfield or on their back line.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. And one benefit as well that Endpoint has, they have Eclipse as a coach. They've been here before, they can rely on him. If there's anything spotted, he'd be able to tell the guy simply, this is what you've got to do here. Monkeys don't have that issue. They've simply are relying on their experience here. Tasmanian most in terms of it, maybe Rick's Ronde slightly a bit more in them too, but bar that factor, their back's truly against the wall now.
Certainly are, and the Dutch pride on the line, at least for Metain and Taz. Ixos just wants to play some Rocket League. Monkeys need to make that reverse sweep if they want to go on and face Team Singularity. Of course, Endpoint is 1 foot in that quarter-final match, or excuse me, winner semi-final matchup here in the qualification stages, which is our first 2 days of competition here on the Rocket RB channel for the Rocket Baguette Summer Grand Prix. Glad you're with us and spending your afternoon watching some fantastic Rocket League. 2 fantastic series already. Still more to come, but more to come from Meteors as well. Can't make contact on that one. Virtuoso will keep it deep in orange territory. And Endpoint an open net there. Relating Wave deciding not to go for it because Metain was right in front of it. Smart play and just keeping the possession here. Virtuoso shoots on net. And again, Endpoint keeping this one too dangerous in the orange half. Meteors over the top. But no goal comes of it as of yet. Virtuoso might try one more time. He'll get beat out by the defense once again.
Bit worrying the fact that Monkeys can double commit at times. They're not being punished for. Don't know who that maybe reflects slightly bad on. Is that the clear the Monkeys are hoping for? It looks like it is. Taz buys a bit of time. They can regain a bit of boost of possession. There's a double commit though. Monkeys are scrambling left, right and centre for inspiration, and so far here it's coming across as desperation.
Certainly right in that one. Scrambly was the word that was coming to mind when I'm looking at this Monkeys team. More so in the offense than the defense at the moment, but they are scrapping for every blade of grass here. Relating Wave, that's a massive clear that he's made it straight into the path of Taz, though. That was wide open. If that was maybe a kilometre or two faster, it might have dipped in or dipped over Taz. You've got to be careful of that if you're Monkeys. You cannot give Endpoint those chances, those openings, because they will take advantage. Here comes a pass upfield to Virtuoso, looking to beat out Taz, but here comes Meteors with the follow-up. Brilliantly played by everyone on Endpoint, and Monkeys cannot get anyone back in defense.
Just moving on down. Taz stuck in a situ. of a moment there. Should have went really back to net or up on the wall to sit in no man's land by challenging that situation. Bit unfortunate, but heat at the moment. Sometimes a mistake like that can occur, and Endpoint regains, seeks the benefit of it, and now one's out effectively in the semi-finals.
Still Endpoint running away with it. Pass into Metenčuks. Metain will go for the save, actually does it with Taz as well. Looking for that pinch back downfield as all of Endpoint were committed upfield, trying to get that second goal, trying to get that cushion. As we tick past 2.5 minutes gone, 2.5 to go in this one. Metza over the top, he's got enough boost, but cannot follow it through as Taz makes the save, but it puts Endpoint in decent position here. Metza will go for this one again, but Virtuoso will have to go for the follow-up as he blocked out by Metain. Now relating wave. Roy looking to go for the pass in the middle. Actually, he'll shadow his teammate and let this one stay in orange territory. Just every second that bleeds off this clock here, Danny, Monkeys are getting more and more frustrated, regardless of whether it's going in the net or not for Endpoint. It's just so much frustration for Monkeys because they cannot get down into the blue half.
Will drive anybody in that sort of imperil situation. They haven't done enough defensively, really. They need to sit there, pass shorter, demo a couple of times and trying to alleviate a few pressures. Haven't 50 recently enough in a while, but good catch. Straight over to the blast!
Oh!
And that goal ties things up!
And Metenčuks, he hesitated, he went right back, probably the right decision, but just an awkward possession, and Metain finds Ixo for a stunning equalizer. And that's what they needed as we tick towards the 1.5 mark, 100 seconds to go here in game number 3. Monkeys need to keep themselves in this one. The pass to Ixo, and he does it again. Brilliantly played by Metain off the kickoff. That's what Monkeys needed.
I bet you Joessi be sitting there thinking, I should have trusted in the Dutch. Metain, clever catch. And you know what? With Ixo's quality of a ones player, yes, he's transformed into a really good threes player. Doesn't score at that point. Monkeys were doomed. This is a chance to maybe regain. Wouldn't say reverse sweep is on the cards just yet, but this is settled for game 3 of win for their case.
And all that Endpoint aggression is starting to rear its ugly head, and shooting percentage being not as accurate as the Monkeys have been. 2 shots from Monkeys, 2 goals to boot, both by the boot of Ixo. Whereas the guys on Endpoint, 7 shots for them so far, and only Metenčuks able to find the target. 60 seconds left. Can Endpoint start to put one inside the net and stop hitting the woodwork and stop hitting the defenders as well? You got to say that Monkeys' defense has been absolutely stellar. Despite not being able to break out of their own half too much, they have kept this Endpoint team at bay for the most part. With 40 seconds to go, they're going to have to do it again as the passing plays come out. Relating wave gets one on target. Brilliant pass from Virtuoso. Finds wave in the middle, and he finds the middle of the net.
It's thought for a second, but Shane was probably the smartest player on the pitch. When you combine the IQ of Endpoint, oh, this is a dangerous roster. And they just respond in kind that Monkeys just did in the kickoff. And that shot, I believe it was a bit more accurate, but Metain deals with it comfortably. 30 seconds left. Monkeys, what do you have left in the tank?
And what do Endpoint have left in the tank as well, because they have been shooting so hard in this game. Virtuoso slows things down and powers it through for the lead. 17 seconds to go, and Endpoint might have stamped their ticket to the next round.
You just sat there and thought Monkeys have had a chance. Oh dear, Endpoint knocking. They've hit the door twice in under 30 seconds. Monkeys, you said it earlier, they're probably frustrated. The amount of defense they had to play. They're back onto it at this point here. Forget about defense. Throw the ball up the field and just see what happens.
Well, they've got 7 seconds to do it. Full court carry required, but Metenčuks straight on this one. Metain will keep this high in the air as the clock strikes triple zeros. Here comes Ixo, the 2-time goal scorer. Here in game number 3. It's going to be Taz, though, and it hits the floor. Endpoint secure the victory in tense fashion here in game number 3. They hold on, and they will play Singularity next.
Oh, you have to feel for the Monkeys there twice in that series. You just simply move around there, and I don't know there. I think Taz might be doing a cheeky substitution to Endpoint, and Isco has yet to be unlocked as he hasn't won a game yet here at the Grand Prix by the looks of it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It does. Yeah, we'll get that graphic sorted. But Metenčuks, I really like him in this Endpoint team. He's been such a solid player, letting Relating Wave and Virtuoso just do their thing, and then just coming in at the end, being that solid veteran player. Love what he's been doing. But Monkeys, again, their Grand Prix isn't over. They will drop to the lower bracket, and they will be facing. If I can get my thing up, will they be facing either Giant or who? We'll tell you who they're facing. We'll get that information to you a little bit later on. But regardless, it's going to be Endpoint up against Singularity. But after this short break, we will be breaking it down on the desk with Jar of Jam. And next up, we are going to have Giants versus the Top Blokes. Do not go anywhere. The Grand Prix continues after this.